In 2005, at the absolute peak of his career, a comedic titan made a decision that sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. Dave Chappelle, the mastermind behind the groundbreaking Chappelle Show, walked away from a staggering $50 million deal. He just vanished. One moment, he was an undeniable cultural force. The next, he was gone. The immediate aftermath? Widespread confusion, wild speculation, and sensational headlines screaming everything from drug abuse to mental breakdowns. But what really happened? Why would someone leave it all behind when they had the world at their feet? To understand the departure, we first need to appreciate the phenomenon. Chappelle's Show wasn't just a TV program, it was a cultural earthquake. Launched in January 2003 on Comedy Central, it redefined sketch comedy with its fearless social commentary, sharp wit, and unforgettable characters. From the hilariously profane Rick James to the unforgettable Tyrone Biggums, every skit became an instant classic, quoted endlessly in dorm rooms and boardrooms alike. The show wasn't just critically acclaimed, it was a commercial juggernaut. Its DVDs flew off shelves, with Season 2 becoming the fastest-selling TV show DVD in history. Comedy Central reportedly raked in an astounding $500 million from DVD sales alone, proving the show's immense profitability. Dave Chappelle was more than just a comedian. He was a cash cow, a creative genius, and the hottest name in entertainment. But this meteoric rise came at a steep personal cost. For Dave, fame wasn't a dream come true. It was a horrifying concept that made him feel like he was losing control. The relentless production schedule of Chappelle's Show, the constant demand for new material, and the unyielding public spotlight created immense, almost unbearable stress. He described feeling deliberately put through stress by the network, working incredibly long hours with little to no breaks. He was creatively drained, and worse, the show was making it hard for me to do stand-up, his true passion, his authentic voice. Then came the legendary offer. Comedy Central presented Dave with a staggering $50 million deal to continue the show for 2 more seasons. For most, this would be an unimaginable fortune, a ticket to endless possibilities. But Dave Chappelle remarkably refused. It wasn't about the money. For him, it was a fundamental stand on principles of fairness, control, and integrity that he felt were being violated.
I'm glad you're here. Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million?
Well, I wasn't walking away from the money.
Yeah.
I was walking away from the circumstances that were coming with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
The cracks in his relationship with the show's direction became increasingly apparent. Dave felt the show wasn't his anymore, its original vision diluted by network interference. He faced a lot of resistance to his opinions, a constant tug of war to maintain his artistic integrity. A pivotal moment, often cited by Chappelle himself, was the Black Pixie sketch. During filming, he observed a white crew member laughing uncontrollably at the bit. This wasn't the reaction he intended. It forced a chilling realization. Was his satire being misinterpreted? Was he inadvertently reinforcing stereotypes instead of satirizing them? He confessed to doing sketches that were funny but socially irresponsible. This incident became a profound crisis of conscience, prompting him to question the very impact of his art. He would later describe feeling like some kind of prostitute during the show's production, a powerful metaphor for the dehumanization and loss of agency he experienced, where his artistic soul was being exploited for commercial gain. Coupled with the personal tragedy of his father's death, the relentless demands and ethical compromises pushed him to his breaking point. He didn't feel good about what I did, a deep moral conflict that ultimately outweighed any financial incentive. Then came the dramatic, unannounced exit. In May 2005, Dave Chappelle abruptly left the set of Chappelle's Show and boarded a plane to South Africa. The media frenzy was immediate and intense. Tabloids ran wild with sensational rumors, drug problems, mental institutions, and a complete breakdown. But Dave himself, speaking from South Africa in an interview with Time magazine, quickly debunked these myths. He was not crazy, he was not on drugs. He was there for a profound spiritual retreat, seeking a quiet place to escape the relentless pressure and tremendous stress. He wanted to think, eat, sleep, laugh, simple human needs that had become luxuries in his fame-driven life. He described himself as an introspective dude who needed to quiet the ego down and find balance away from the extremes and artificiality of the entertainment industry. South Africa offered him a crucial sanctuary, a place where he could simply be Dave, not Dave Chappelle, the superstar. The relative anonymity, being recognized only 5 or 6 times in 2 weeks, was startling, forcing him to remember he was, in fact, famous. This time was for inventory and rigorous self-assessment, a chance to check my intentions. After several weeks, Chappelle returned to his quiet Ohio home. But crucially, he never went back to Chappelle's show. For over a decade, he deliberately stepped back from the mainstream spotlight. He chose a quieter path, honing his craft in smaller venues, finding an altitude I was comfortable with, where he could control his environment and creative output. This period, though out of the public eye, was vital for his artistic and personal regeneration. His major return to the mainstream began in 2016 with a groundbreaking deal with Netflix, a multi-special contract, reportedly worth $20 million per special. He released a series of acclaimed specials, instantly becoming a top draw on the streaming platform. But the battle wasn't over. In November 2020, he discovered Chappelle's show streaming on Netflix and HBO Max without him receiving any compensation from Comedy Central. In a powerful, unprecedented move, he released his Unforgiven video on Instagram, directly appealing to his real boss, his fans. "I'm begging you. Please don't watch that show," he implored. "Boycott Chappelle's show. Do not watch it unless they pay me." This direct call to action put immense pressure on the networks. And then, something truly remarkable happened. Netflix agreed to remove the show from its platform. Chappelle publicly praised Netflix, saying, "They paid me my money. They do what they say they're going to do. And they went above and beyond." In February 2021, he announced his redemption song, confirming he had finally received the money he deserved. And Chappelle's show returned to Netflix, but this time, on his terms. Dave Chappelle's departure was never a simple act. It was the culmination of relentless stress, creative compromise, and profound financial injustice. His retreat to South Africa wasn't a breakdown, but a necessary act of self-preservation, a deliberate quest for peace and authenticity away from the suffocating demands of fame. His courageous stand, despite the immense personal and professional risks, brought critical, overdue attention to the often exploitative practices within the entertainment industry. His public battle for his royalties and his eventual triumph serves as a powerful testament to the growing power of individual artists to reclaim their narrative and demand equitable treatment. He proved that an artist's integrity can be their most valuable asset. Dave Chappelle's story is a compelling blueprint for how individual acts of defiance, rooted in deep conviction, can contribute to systemic change. For him, true success was never about the $50 million, but about maintaining his self, his art, and his core values. He took the scenic route away from the conventional path, and in doing so, he cemented his legacy not just as a comedic genius, but as an uncompromising voice for authenticity in an industry that too often demands conformity. His journey reminds us that sometimes the most profound victories are found not in what you gain, but in what you refuse to lose.